was like, okay, so what I'm going to do with my life? So the only thing was, okay, I like tourism, I like travel, so let's try that.
Okay.
And then out of nowhere, I got letter that I got accepted.
Hey.
So then it's like, whoops, I guess I'm doing it. Well, the thing is, the way I like to explain it to other people who are out of Denmark is that, Danish people, or maybe in general Scandinavian people, they are a bit shy with the spices and things, It's a bit of salt and a bit of black pepper, that's it, Let's not make it, something too much. Summers in Denmark are amazing. They're not so long, but yes, it's really nice. You can stay out for a long time because days are long.
Hi, Kristina.
Hi, Amir.
Would you introduce yourself?
So my name is Kristina. I'm 29 years old and I'm from Slovakia.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you study, can I ask?
I did my bachelor degree in hospitality management, and then I did my master degree in tourism.
And when did you move to Denmark?
I moved to Denmark in 2016. Yeah.
Great.
A long time.
And yeah, it's a long time actually. So you did both your bachelor and master here in Denmark, right?
Yes.
How was it?
It was, I think it was the best time of my life so far.
Oh, during the study time?
Yeah. I really enjoyed it because it was nothing that I expected. And interesting thing is that back in my country, I applied to study medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get in. And then I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do with my life? So the only thing was, okay, I like tourism, I like travel, so let's try that. And I got in.
Okay.
And it was great because it was very different from, compared to my country. It's not so theoretical. It's more about practical, working in the groups, lots of socializing with other classmates. And so that's why it was very enjoyable and very different.
So it was during your high school, then after that you applied for a position, a study in your country, you didn't get it, then you applied here, and after getting in you moved to Denmark, right? Yes. Or you moved here and applied?
I applied in Slovakia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you got it and you came here.
Yeah.
It's for me it's not really easy to move to another country when you are about 18 or something, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's actually funny when I look back at it that I met this great friend of mine in Bratislava in Slovakia, and I was just saying it, I'm playing with the idea to go to Denmark to study at the university there. But it was not something serious, really. It was just maybe, And then, this friend of mine, he started pushing me okay, did you already did your application and your CV and everything? So everything became real. Okay. And then out of nowhere, I got letter that I got accepted.
Hey.
So then it's whoops, I guess I'm doing it. So and that's how I got in,
Then how was the first few days that you arrived? Did you come alone?
I came alone, yes.
Oh, okay. Then how was it?
It was nice. Everything is new. The weather is different. The people, the streets. So everything is like wow, moment. So I really liked it. I lived in the nice neighborhood, in the house, and lots of green area. So it was quite kind of nice. Yeah.
Is the weather quite different from your homeland, from Slovakia? Is it?
It is. It is.
Okay.
Of course, here it's much more rainy, more windy. The winter is much longer here.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of But besides the weather is the whole nature. Denmark is flat.
Yeah.
It's very flat, and I love nature. And back in my country, I used to go to mountains and to the forest very often.
Yeah.
And now you come here and you're like, whoa, what is this?
When did you notice this lack of having mountains? Because me also, I used to live in a country with lots of mountains. At the beginning, I didn't notice it, but after a while, I noticed, okay, there is something missing in the background. You know,
Yeah.
there used to be something like this, but it's not there.
Once you start, like traveling a bit around, not just in your city, but, other cities and places, you start noticing, something is different. So I was like, okay, this is really flat. So that was a big kind of like, okay, I really miss mountains. And
Okay.
then I noticed that when I come to visit my country, and when I see the mountains, I'm also like, tears in my eyes. Yeah.
Okay. So didn't you face any challenges at the beginning when you arrived to Copenhagen? Sorry, Denmark.
Yeah, many. Well, because you need to start managing lots of stuff, your accommodation. I mean, I was lucky to find accommodation before coming to Denmark, so that was arranged. But then all the bureaucracy, and the job, of course, you really need to, because this is not the cheapest country to live in. So you really need to, start working, getting money, and so on. So it was looking for a job was I think the hardest part, because I didn't know anybody here. So it's like you really just have to print out hundreds of CVs and just go, here it is, and try your best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one of the hardest part of the living here. So what about the good part of living here in Denmark?
Well, of course, the novelty, new challenges, and kind of like challenging yourself as well. Very nice people. I find Danish people very polite, very nice and helpful, especially when I was like my professors, my teachers, it was very nice. Summers in Denmark are amazing. I mean, they're not so long, but yes, it's really nice. You can stay out for a long time because days are long, and so I really enjoyed that period. Yeah.
But what are you missing here in Denmark?
It's
It's quite a long time that you're living here, right?
Yeah.
Beside the mountains, what is you're missing?
Yeah, beside the mountains, I'm missing, this kind of like culture that, in my country, I wake up, I go for coffee, without worrying that I spend 20 euros just for coffee and some snack, So it's just like kind of this different kind of like habits, going out to eat more often, perhaps, and this socializing with other people in different way. Here, because the winters are of course that long, you're really forced to either just go to some pub or just at home. In my country you have a lot of options what to do in the winter, so this is kind of like something I really miss. And of course the family.
Yeah. So what do you do about it? So about the options that you're missing here, you cannot do anything about the food and everything. What about the family? You go back quite often?
I try to visit at least once a year. Because of the work and so on, it's difficult to schedule more often, but at least once a year, yeah.
And what do you do when you go back beside the visiting the family? Is it something that's...
It's funny thing, but one of the first things, I go to forest with my mom, That was one of the first things, and just really enjoy the nature, see the mountains, and just do totally different things that I do here, go out with friends, have a drinks, have a lunch or dinner outside, and just
And what about the food? It's one of the challenging things for the people who move to another country.
Yes.
Is it different?
It's very different. Well, the thing is, the way I like to explain it to other people who are out of Denmark is that, Danish people, or maybe in general Scandinavian people, they are a bit shy with the spices and things, It's a bit of salt and a bit of black pepper, that's it, Let's not make it, something too much. So it's many people say that it's like bland, it doesn't have much of the flavor. Yes, I will say so. But again, Copenhagen is the place where we have one of the best restaurants in the world. For example, so food scene, it's there to explore.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the Slovakian food. Do we have any Slovakian restaurants here in Copenhagen or Denmark?
I haven't seen any Slovak restaurants in Copenhagen.
What is the main, the most famous Slovakian dish?
Well, our national dish is it's kind of like dumplings with the sheep cheese and the fried bacon on top.
Okay.
Yeah, people who are not from Slovakia, from abroad, they don't like it.
Okay.
Because it's very, very, very strange taste, yeah. But we eat lots of meat and potatoes and bread and yeah. So it's mix of things.
Sounds quite like Scandinavian
Yeah, but we use
dishes.
spices. We use more spices. Yeah.
So you are quite happy living here in Denmark? What do you think about it?
I'm kind of happy, but I'm also ready for another chapter in my life. I don't feel like this is the place where I will settle forever, or maybe, but I still need to go somewhere else between. So playing with that idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what is that you are looking for? What do you think that is be able to, gather your attention?
I'm looking for the place where I can spend most of the time outdoor, definitely. Yeah. Maybe country where the taxes will not ruin me. But yeah, it's mostly, the nature, the weather, different culture again, to experience something else.
Great. And what do you think if you go back to the time that you were like during your high school, do you still decide to move to another country like Denmark, or you will stay back in Slovakia, or you try somewhere else based on all the experience that you gathered during these years?
I would definitely go abroad.
Okay.
And I really would recommend to everybody, like, go and have this experience, because it's learning experience, and you challenge yourself, you go through things that you wouldn't go through otherwise if you haven't got out from your comfort zone. And so I definitely don't regret it. And Scandinavia is one of the best places in Europe, I would say, to go and try to live. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think for a person who wants to move to another country to start a new journey, a new chapter? What is the main, the most important factor you think that they have to be happy after?
Well, you have to have an open mind, and get out of your comfort zone and be ready to challenge yourself. Have fun. Take it, don't take life too serious, because it will never be, just easy. It will be up and down, like all the time. But just, have an open mind and try to make the best out of it.
Okay.
Because you can really get a lot out of this experience, especially in Scandinavia. If you maybe decide to stay here, you can have really good life then. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For being with us.
Thanks.